Single till I fucking die. It's too good. It's always too good to be true, bro.
I mean, that is the mentality in 2025, right? People just tired of dating. Everybody's a player nowadays. Girls are playing. The guys are playing. Nobody really wants to commit to something because everybody's afraid of what is going to happen, what might eventually happen to them, Therefore, they're just like players, you know. Let's see how it goes.
We've been talking every single day ever since we seen each other. Like every single day at work. I'm talking to her on my fucking.
At work, I don't know if he met her at work, probably not, right? But yeah. That's like a rookie mistake, rookie mistake. You kind of like dig her, you like her. When you kind of like connect to a girl mentally, it happens very occasionally. I mean, very rarely, as a matter of fact. But it turns out that if you talk to her way too much, it turns out that she might get a little bored, like very, very fast. It's just you cannot be the guy who talks way too much, on a daily basis with her. You gotta like, even though you're not that busy, you gotta like purposefully ghost her. Not ghost, just like give her some delayed answers, wait a few hours in order to talk to her. I mean, they do that too. They might talk to you in person and ghost your DMs, but might interact with you in person while your DM is there, still hanging. It's crazy, right?
Breaks. You feel me? Like I'm talking to her on her breaks. She FaceTiming me like every fucking hour of the day.
FaceTime, yeah.
Like there's no way.
Like meet up already, I don't know. I just feel like texting, calling is just not an optimal way of talking to people. I mean, dating, like when it comes to talking to a girl, you know what I mean? Due to the fact that she has like 20 other guys which she has to reply to. And at the moment she feels like an instance of boredom, she will stop replying. She will stop like talking to you. I mean, I've had pretty good conversations, really insightful and deep conversations with women on DMs, and we were like connecting and sort of stuff. Like it was like, wow, this is truly a profound conversation, which is truly essentially rare, right? With girls nowadays, especially at her age. She was like very young in her early 20s. But it turns out that out of nowhere, she just stopped replying and unfollowed me for no reason. And I assumed that it was probably there's some, other guy on the line. So they keep like changing. They keep playing with you. And I mean, I don't want to put them as wrong because I play with them too. Turns out that I end up playing with them as well, involuntarily, even though I don't want to. Like some shorty just gets way too attached to me, and then I'm like, you know what, we might need to slow things down a little bit, And then they simply treat you as a player, as if you were playing with them.
Like look, it's a perfect time to go on a date because like it's matinees. You feel me? Because
Tuesday?
Because movies got, $5 movies. So I'm like, okay, like this is a perfect day to go on a date with shorty. Let me hit her.
Yeah, taking a girl to the movies on a date is just a terrible place because you cannot really talk to her, you cannot really interact with her. You both gotta pretend that you're paying attention to the movie. I feel like going to the movies would be more adequate on the following dates, because you both have like bonded already, and now you guys can like enjoy a movie together without having to actually pretend that you're enjoying the movie. You can actually enjoy the movie itself. Just pretend that she's not there. If you cannot pretend that she's not there, then yeah, you're paying way too much attention to her and like giving her the side eye. She's giving you the side eye. It's just like the movies is just a terrible, at least for me, from personal experience, it's just a terrible place to take a baddie on a first date.
Up and see what the vibe is, right? So I call her. As soon as I call her, she's so excited to hear me, like, and she's like, babe, like, I've been waiting for your call all day. She's calling me babe and shit. She's been calling me babe for the past like 3-4 days. We only been talking for like 2 weeks. I thought that whole love at first sight.
I mean, this guy is not a player, right? Because he's like shaking with the fact that a girl is calling him babe within 2 days or 2 weeks. I mean, I've got girls who calls me babe, and I call them babe right off the bat. They just call you love, sweet, sweetheart, daddy, right off the bat, my man. Like within, I don't know, 30 minutes, they're already calling you that. And if they call you like that already, right off the bat, then they probably call anybody like that who they're into. So you can tell that a girl is playing with you. Not a play, but she's like you know, more like into hookups, more suitable for hookups rather than a real serious relationship which you have to commit like on long term. By the way she talks to you, like if she treats you as a, talks like, calls you a daddy, I know, within a day already, within a few minutes, I've seen that, So, like, calling you a babe doesn't mean anything, man. Doesn't mean absolutely anything. It is just a word. It doesn't really mean anything that she has feelings for you, like she's attached to you. Maybe.
I thought
So this guy's like, whoa, she's calling me babe already? Like, yeah, heck yeah, let's go. It's like potential for a relationship, but nah, that's not how things work. Yeah, maybe it used to work like that a few years ago, a few decades ago, but nowadays, a girl calling you babe doesn't mean absolutely anything. Maybe it means that she's into you, like she's turned on by you, or when guys call girls babes. But that is it. That is the only thing. It is different, like from a couple calling each other babe. I mean,
that whole love at first sight, that, oh my God, I'm about to fucking crash out. Boom, I'm like, hey, the movie started at 12. I'm gonna pick you up at 11:30. Be ready by 11:30. She's like, you don't gotta worry about it, babe. I'm gonna be ready. You feel me? Like, and she doesn't really take long on her makeup anyway. She don't even need makeup because Shorty is fine as fuck. But just to make sure, as soon
oh, and by the way, I'm not saying that he's wrong by thinking that. It's just that the way things are nowadays, and you learn from experience. I'm not saying that, oh, he's naive. I mean, to some extent, he might, been naive in this point, in this case, for thinking that her calling him babe means anything, like, oh, damn, we already here, like, you're already calling me babe, which in fact doesn't really mean anything. But that perception, that observation only comes from experience, as a little more experienced guy on dating, I tend to see that more frequently.
as I'm done getting ready, I call her just to make sure she's ready. And I'm ready at by like 11:15. You feel me? So I call her at like 11:16, 17, whatever the fuck it was, right? It went straight to voicemail. I'm like, oh, her phone probably dead, right? It's dead, right? But it wasn't like straight to voicemail for real. It rang once and then it hung up. It wasn't no, oh, sorry, thank you for calling. It wasn't, no, it wasn't, it was, thank you for, it was one ring. But I'm not fucking crazy. So I ain't gonna overthink it, right? So I call a second time. It rang twice. Straight to voicemail. Yo, I'm like,
Yeah, at that point, I'll be giving up already. Honestly, I'll be giving up. Or maybe I'll be assuming that something bad happened to her. I don't know. Or I don't know. Like the way that girls behave nowadays when it comes to dating, like they're so unattached from it, that they might even actually like schedule a date with you, and they might simply, I don't know, bail out, right? Like a few minutes right before it, and just block you, and just like unfollow you, or just like gaslight you, due to how uncommitted they are when it comes to like real dating. That's why you gotta take things easily too. You gotta catch the vibes, man. You gotta catch the vibes. Like at this point, I probably would have given up already.
I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. It's ringing twice. She probably on the phone with her moms. You feel me? Someone probably died. Who fucking knows? A matinee movie with a nigga you just met 2 weeks ago that you pretty much calling babe. It's not that important. It's not that important. It's not that important.
Yeah, you see how much he stressed the fact that she calls him babe already. That's what I mean. When you already have that experience, when you already talk to a bunch of women, that is a bad thing, right? You realize that it is not that deep. It doesn't really mean anything. It is not that meaningful. Someone calling you babe, someone calling you some sweet kind of like nickname, which used to represent some kind of very intimate affection. And nowadays it doesn't really mean anything. People use babe like to anybody. They can call babes anybody. They call people babes, somebody who they just met on the club, on a nightclub, like 30 seconds ago, they're already calling each other babe. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he stresses the fact that she already calls him babe. So he's probably assuming that it's going to turn into a relationship, when in fact, they're just playing with you. They probably call other 100 guys as babes as well. The guys on Snapchat. By the way, I feel like Snapchat is a huge red flag, especially if she has a really high Snap score. I've seen girls like with over 1 million Snap score. I mean, what the hell are you doing with your life? Over 1 million Snap score? What the hell is that? How many photos you share? How many photos have you shared with random men on a daily basis? You know, they keep like complaining about, oh, random men texting me, but they keep sharing. They keep sharing photos, random photos of themselves, almost like nudes to random men. So Snapchat, honestly, for me, Snapchat is a red flag.
So I wait till like 11:25. Shorty only lived like 10 minutes from me. So like I wait till 11:25. So I call her again.
Okay, so he's scheduled for 11:30. So yeah, she's a little late, but yeah,
She answered.
still can happen.
I'm like, yo, like you good? Like you sure? She's like, oh my bad, I was in the shower. In the shower? You called me with your makeup full. Your makeup's full. You were in the shower, got out, dried, clothes on, makeup full. You know what? It's all good though. I'm not gonna overthink it because I'm trying to get to this movie before, niggas skip out on getting.
Trying to hit. Basically trying to hit. Like you ignore a bunch of things when you're trying to hit. You're trying to hit, you simply ignore a bunch of red flags, you ignore a bunch of things or a bunch of, signs that are telling you to just back off, you ignore it because you want to hit. I've heard some advice from some men, from some friends, which they say that it's better for you to go on a date with your ball sack empty. So, I mean, but at the moment you empty your balls, you're already no longer feeling the need, the urge to go on a date. Unless you really like her. Unless you really like. So that might be a good idea. Like if you really want to feel like you're feeling with this girl, you're fucking with her, and then you empty your balls and then you still want to see her. And it probably means that you really like her. So, yeah. I could potentially try that one day.
Popcorn, because the lines be long for matinees. You feel me? $5 movies. Who the fuck not going to the movies on Tuesdays? If you're not, like, perked up though. Perked up though. She had these jeans that were like low rise jeans.
Perked up? What is that?
So I seen like
nice boobs? What is that?
Her V line a little bit. I was like, ooh, you feel? But you know what? Let's focus on the task at hand. Shorty fine, but let's focus on the task at hand. As soon as she get in the car, I don't know if it's like my intuition. And I'm not fucking crazy. She was acting a little weird and standoffish. She was acting like a little like first date vibes. You know how like girls are on a first date with a guy that they don't really fuck with? I don't deal with that shit because I don't go out with girls that don't fuck with me. So, but like the girls that be like, like that. She was acting like that. What the fuck going on, bro?
Yeah, probably acting defensive, acting like in a way that it doesn't really resonate with the way that she usually, interacts with him.
Like she's still fine as hell in my car, about to go to the movies with me midday.
Yeah, she's still fine. So yeah, bro just wants to hit.
Hey, broad daylight, everybody can see us. So I'm like, okay, cool, right? So anyways, I'm like, okay, like this shit breezy, right? Like, so we get to the movies, and I'm seeing if she want popcorn, right? Shorty's like giving me hella attitude. Like it's like a random. I'm catching up on these things, and it's like I know I'm not fucking crazy. She starts giving me attitude, right? Like it makes you think I want popcorn.
At that point, I'll be driving that bitch back home. Honestly, I'll be driving her back home. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, we cannot. This is not gonna work. That attitude. I mean, I know you would really want to hit. That's the reason why if you had your balls empty, you probably wouldn't be taking this kind of thing.
Word. Women are not B-word. Anyways, I run up popcorn, so I got popcorn. If you don't want
White Knight,
some of my popcorn, don't eat my fucking popcorn. Guess what the fuck she did? Ate some of my fucking popcorn. So shorty, you wanted some fucking popcorn. But anyways, we not gonna worry about that. So while we're in the movie, she's still being like standoffish. You feel me? Like she's still being like like first date.
So I'm gonna pause the video for now because it's just getting like way too lengthy. It's just trying to over explain the story. I mean, in a nutshell, she's a hoe, right? Because it turns out that she is married. He mentions that right in the end of the video.
But Desmond's my husband.
Yeah, he mentions in the video right at the end of the video that she had a husband already. He caught a guy calling her on the phone. And it turns out that he was her husband. He gave like a side eye and noticed that. So yeah, she's a hoe, essentially a hoe, right? I mean, she's going out on a date with a guy who's very innocent, right? This could go very, very wrong. I mean, he doesn't know about this, but she did not tell him. She at least, it would like signal a bit more of morals and principles. Although it's still wrong, right? You're married in your date, like you're cheating. You're going out on a guy who's totally clueless about that. But at least if she had just like told him, you know what, I'm married. I don't know how you feel about this. Like, yeah, I like you, but I'm married, so yeah, I don't know how it could go. He would probably pull off from this, get away from this, but still, he will be aware of it. But he's totally unaware. He's totally clueless about this. So this could go very bad. This could go very bad for him. I mean, the husband probably thinks that, oh, he knows that she's married, right? And he's still hanging out with her. So yeah, he's gonna feel my wrath. And that is the thing. This guy's really believing that I don't know, just because a girl called you babe. Girls they be playing nowadays, man. You cannot really fall for that kind of thing. It's no longer like it used to be. I mean, we're 2025, almost like hitting 2030. Social media has ruined absolutely everything when it comes to dating. Girls they have so many options, and guys are just desperate. I mean, 4 out of 10 girls they're looking to date a guy who's a 7 out of 10. 5'2" girls they demand a guy who's 6 foot. Like that doesn't make any sense, right? It's due to peer pressure. Like they see other girls, demanding for a 6 foot guys, and they're even though there's 5'2" and a guy who's I don't know 4 inches taller than it would be enough already. They still demand a guy who's 6 foot. So social media plays a really bad role and really has a really bad impact on that. It has cursed everybody's potential in dating. And I don't really like I'm not really saying that I'm not part of that because yeah, man, that's the way I see things nowadays. Like after talking to so many women, I see things not like this now. I see things this way and it's due to social media. So I might be like into this as well. I might be like not a victim, but sort of like a victim of this too. Because if it wasn't for uh social media, I would be probably in a serious relationship, in a serious long-term relationship already. But I simply cannot trust that thing nowadays. I can simply not trust. I no longer can trust it because I know how bad it is. How many bad things happens when you're not looking at it. I'm not saying that I have trust issues, like trusting other people or I'm traumatized. It's just that talking to so many women and even like you hear stories from engaged women, I don't know. I don't know if I can really trust that. And I'm not even talking from a perspective like red pill or from the perspective of someone who's red pilled or I don't know, MGTOW and all of that bullshit. I feel like that you're trying to really participate in a group, trying to belong to a certain group, of men who think alike, and then you're giving a name to it. It's just like silly, just like ridiculous. Like, oh, I'm red pilled, I'm MGTOW is just like silly. I don't know. I would simply avoid being labeled as any of those. But it's just that some of the things they say, it does have some validity to it, you know. And in this case, this guy fell for a girl who was playing with him. She's trifling, right? Calling him babe, like, oh, she's calling me babe. Oh my God, this is so special. Like she probably calls 100 other guys as babes too. So it doesn't really matter. That is the thing. The like love you, saying I love you too, is no longer doesn't really signify that much anymore. Like saying I love you, or calling someone babe. It doesn't really mean much. So that's why you gotta be aware of it. You really gotta be aware of it. So that you don't fall into traps. And this guy fell into a trap, like thinking that, oh, we're talking on a daily basis. Bro, I'm so used to talking to women who I feel like mentally connected to, and then all of a sudden they simply disappear. They simply ghost me out of nowhere. I could check on their profile and then I realize that, like, you know what? Like, Shorty simply out of nowhere is no longer following me. Why? Why did I say? Have I said anything wrong? Like, was I acting any weird? Because I was actually acting in a way that she enjoyed. She was like praising that. She praised that in the first place to begin with. Rather than in the first, I don't know, first interactions. And then out of nowhere, she unfollowed me. She blocked me. For what reason? So they be talking to a bunch of guys. That is the thing. The reason is that they are talking to hundreds of guys. I mean, not hundreds, of course. Maybe that's way too much. Maybe that's, the kind of girls who hang out on Snapchat, what is really, it's really weird. Like women, they're just desperate for a lust and attention from other guys. They be scoring, I don't know, over 1 million in Snapchat. It's just weird. But like young girls, 18, 19 years old girls just scoring over 1 million in Snapchat. It's men. It's men giving that much attention. They don't have that many friends. It's just like random men. But the thing is, yeah, these girls that be talking to a bunch of guys. You're not that special as you think as you think you are. That is the reason why you gotta be careful with it. That is the reason why I feel like social media has ruined much of the potential for a long-term relationship. And it's not that prior to social media things were perfect. It's just that they were not as distorted. They were not as skewed and damaged. And nowadays people's mentality is damaged. So I mean, due to the vast amount of options you have, like you can see an attractive girl on the street, and I mean, for example, take as an example our grandparents, right? They have more success. They have more success with relationships, with like long-term relationships, because due to a geographical reason, I would say, like due to lack of technology, they didn't talk to so many people as we talk. They picture like your grandparent, I mean your grandpa talking to as many women as you talk at his age, like at 18 years old. Let's say he's 20 and he, I don't know, talks to 10 girls at the same time, just like you do. It probably didn't have, it wasn't like that for them. For them it was just like he met his grandmother, I don't know, at high school, or she worked at some place nearby, and then they started to talk to each other, started to go on a date and yada yada. So there wasn't as many options as there is nowadays. And the nuances of like relationships were much more down to earth. Like, yeah, I like you, you like me. We're not really playing games. And yeah, what about we get in a serious relationship? I buy you a ring, get yada yada. Like, yeah, I pay for things. You stay at home. That's how things used to work. And nowadays you have like this kind of like fight over women who want freedom, but at the same time they wouldn't be taken care of. So there's like a disconnection. I understand like women wanted to be free. I understand that. They want to be free, but you want to be free sexually. You want to be free, like financially, but you also want a man who takes care of you. Like if a man takes care of you, then he maybe has the, not the power, but he has the right to set some boundaries. You know what I mean? But yes, so nowadays there's so much disconnection. There's so much like conflict, conflict of interest. From both genders. Like men, they want certain things which women are not willing to give, and vice versa. Like women want certain things that men simply are not willing to give, right? And yeah, it's just that things are much more difficult nowadays when it comes to dating. It truly is. You have way too many options. You have dating apps. Dude, like cheating nowadays much easier. Cheating nowadays much easier. I mean, it probably was very easy back in the days. And here's the thing, we tend to assume that our grandparents' relationship were perfect. Used to take like, we tend to look back at their relationships and really assume that they have not cheated. That I don't know, our grandpa went on a trip to Europe and stayed there for 60 days and then not cheat on our grandma. So we tend to assume that, oh, they're so perfect for each other. But is it really? Is it really? And there's also the fact that they have bonded for so long that like breaking up right now is no longer an option. After people stay with each other for so long, breaking up is no longer an option. They don't want to do that anymore. Like the pros of breaking up, they're far inferior to the cons. So you better stay just together for the rest of your life. So I feel like this kind of like commitment nowadays, staying with a person for the rest of your life, it's very like it's no longer trendy. You know, it's no longer mainstream. Like if you ask a woman, like, do you want to stay with this guy for the rest of your life and no longer think about other men? You no longer desire other men. I mean, it goes against our instincts. I get it, but it's just that I don't know, man. It's brutal. It's kind of brutal. That's the reason why I don't really take like relationships that seriously. You know, like looking for a wife, looking for a woman like that, because the only purpose of you actually getting with someone in a long-term relationship like that is uh for family reasons. Like you want to build a family. If you get with someone in a serious long-term relationship, you don't really build a family with them, you don't really raise a family, then I don't really see the reasons why you're so, I mean, you love that person, right? But um the point is to reproduce. Like we cannot deny that. You can try to deny your instincts, but we just get into like we get with each other for the reasons that we want to reproduce. That is the main reason. So yeah, this guy got played out by a shorty, got played out by a baddie, and that's how things go nowadays. You gotta watch out. You gotta have your eyes wide open, my man, because you can't be played out too. You know, and that's how it goes. And especially with American women, that's how I feel like with Western women. I feel like it's a little more distorted. They have more skewed kind of perspective on relationships in comparison to European women, which still over there still plays like it used to play in the back in the you know in the previous century, you know. So and here in the West, it's a little it's harder. Like Tinder, I tried Tinder in America. It was a disaster. It was a total disaster. Like I got only I don't know 400 pounds girls like liking me, you know, and it was just terrible results, man. Not even a single molecule of something that which you could potentially date. You know, you'll go like, you know what, I can date that girl. You're like, no, it was just like bad, terrible, just ugh. You know, so Tinder America, that's a no. That's a no. And where else are you going to meet women? In the gym, in a party? Like if you approach women on the gym, unless you look good and you're above like 6 foot, okay, maybe 5'10", like 5'10", you're for 5'10". I feel like 5'10" is you're ready to get the pass. Because if you wear I don't know, Air Max, for example, you're ready to get to 6 foot, right? So yeah, but for you to approach women in real life, you gotta look good, my man. You gotta look good. And it has to be like it cannot be code approach unless you are in a like nightclub. Unless you are in a nightclub, then code approach is the kind of card you're gonna pull, right? But on a daily basis, like in daylight, it has to be something related to routine or something like that. It's just like casual shit, you know, chit chat, like just casual conversation. So that's it. Dating in 2025 in a nutshell. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.